guys, welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Courtney. I'm your host, Courtney. Tonight we have a very special dish, um, semi-budget friendly but very unique and something I want you all to try at home. We're making my version of drunken noodles. It's a very popular Thai dish, and we have a lot of different ingredients that we have to combine together. So, along with our drunken Thai noodles or drunken noodles, we're also making firecracker shrimp. So, make sure you stay tuned for the full episode. I did a lot of the prep work behind the scenes. So, for our drunken noodle sauce, I used 6 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce. Those of you who are familiar with the Thai dish, don't come for me. I know this does not go in the traditional version, but this is Courtney's special version. So we're using 6 tablespoons of the teriyaki sauce, 2 tablespoons of the oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce, and 1.5 teaspoons of fish sauce, a spoon of garlic, like 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, and 3 teaspoons of brown sugar. And it has all been combined. This is enough for 2 servings. So I'm doing 2 servings tonight. If you like your drunken noodles really saucy, I'll say add another half of those ingredients to this actual recipe to give you more sauce, but this is for 2 servings. So we're gonna go ahead and sit that aside, and we're gonna start off with our minced garlic. We have some Thai basil. You can get it any local Asian market. If you don't have Thai basil, all the recipes I saw and all the people I consulted said don't substitute it with regular basil. Oh, so I have my wok, my grease, my vegetable oil has been heating up, and we're gonna go ahead and stir this around for about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna go in with our egg. We have 2 eggs that I scrambled in a bowl, and I'm gonna finish scrambling inside of the wok. It's a really quick dish to cook. It's really the prep time that's gonna get you. So this was a special request per Chambry. So, guys, if you're out there and you have something that you've seen on TikTok, you've seen on YouTube, or you just seen in passing, and you want me to, make the recipe or make a version of the recipe with ingredients that we can actually find, let me know. Let me know in the comments and let me know on the website. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my wok back up because I turned it down because I kind of got scared. But this Thai basil, it has like it's a totally different flavor than your traditional basil that you'll put in your like tomato sauce in your Italian dishes. So that's why you wouldn't substitute. So if you are not near a Whole Foods or any type of Asian market, just omit it. So we're gonna go ahead and let this oil get seasoned with the garlic and this 1 teaspoon of ginger and about 2 or 3 leaves of basil, Thai basil. I chopped it up, and we're also gonna finish the dish with a couple more leaves of basil. So this Thai basil helped bring in that unique flavor to it, along with all the different sauces. So on the recipe, you will see when you go to streamchannel7.tv, streamchannel7.tv, it shows that we are seasoning our protein, which I did pre-season and it's marinated. I'm using steak and shrimp. But you can use any protein you would like, or you can just omit the protein if you are vegetarian, vegan, or just trying to go meatless for a while. But we're not adding any other seasoning like salt, pepper to this dish because all that will be in the sauce. The traditional version of the drunken noodle calls for like 3 or 4 versions of soy sauce. So don't add any salt. Some people, and by some people I mean, those people, they just eyeball and be like, oh, it needs more salt. They didn't taste it. They didn't make it, but they say it needs more salt. The one who put the salt before they even taste it, don't be one of those people. You do not want to over salt this dish. Even the Courtney version. Because that fish sauce is really salty, so that's why you're going to start with the 1.5 teaspoons. Okay? So, guys, this smells good already. You cannot go wrong with garlic. Fresh garlic, minced garlic, garlic powder, garlic salt, black garlic. You can't go wrong with garlic. And this Thai basil is a whole different level. So let's go ahead. This is 2 eggs I scrambled in the bowl. And I'm going to finish off in this wok. And so now we're going to go ahead and turn that up. We're going to scramble this. And then we're going to add our vegetables. Because I have 2 carrots. I didn't thinly chop, but I split them down the middle and kind of chop them into like thinner strips. And then we also have broccolini, which I was also able to find at the Asian market and that I cleaned and prepped, and some white onions. So the eggs are scrambled in, and it's okay if the basil is cooked in with the eggs because we're going to add a couple more bigger pieces or leaves of basil just to add that extra level of flavor. So let's go in with our vegetables. We have our onions. And this is half a white onion sliced, not super thin, but it's sliced into like that curve shape. I did a lot of my prep work off the camera because it does take time to get the different vegetables cut. And who got all that time? So if you want to go the easier route, go to Walmart. And once again, they're not a sponsor, but we shop there. Go to Walmart and get the bag of stir-fry vegetables. It has like onions, those sugar peas, the little baby corns. Get those and just throw them in here. Save your prep time. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add. Let me just add all of it. So that's the broccolini. It's a little different than the broccoli, as you can tell. It's a longer stalk and it's not as thick at the top. So this would probably be that broccolini after it, did that tummy detox and, started eating clean and healthy. But both styles of broccoli is good. And so we're just going to go ahead and let that cook so the vegetables can soften up. And that egg is going to continue to cook in there. So the egg is just going to be there. And I'm going to add just a little water so that the vegetables can start to steam and really soften up before we add our protein. So we're adding steak and shrimp. I had some leftover ribeye steak from my steak tacos last night. If you buy one ribeye and semi-freeze it and slice them thin, you can get you 3 really nice sized steak tacos and you can still have some left for this dish. Or you can make 4 or 5 tacos and feed you and a friend. If you're ever interested in seeing that recipe, let me know, guys. Make sure my wok is up high. We want it to cook because these carrots, we don't want the vegetables to be overcooked, but we don't want them to be too fresh to take away. But we do want the different textures because the noodles, the rice noodles that we're using, they're already going to be soft and chewy. So we do want that crunch factor. And guys, I didn't add any salt or any pepper to my eggs. And so this will be 2 really healthy servings. And the reason I say 2 is because the amount of protein. So I'm using shrimp, the large shrimp that's been deveined and deshelled from Walmart, and I cleaned them and I took the tails off, and my leftover steak. So enough for two people to, get their fill, and plus we have all these vegetables. I'm gonna test this by the carrots, which I probably should have put in first. But the broccolini is cooking. Let me just move this to a side. So use about 3 to 5 minutes just for everything to go ahead and get seasoned with the basil, the top basil, and garlic oil that we created when we first added to the pan, and just so it can cook and soften up some. So if you're not the type that like your vegetables in their natural state, I would say maybe pre-cooking them a little in a pot of boiling water, especially the carrots, and then add them. Or buying the thinly sliced shredded carrots that's in a bag. These are leftover carrots from when I made my Amarilla brown sugar glazed carrots. Yes, it tastes as good as it sounds. Okay. And like I said, if you don't, if you're not eating meat or you don't eat meat per dietary restrictions, this right here will fill you up too, because this is some really chunky vegetables, and vegetables is just as filling because they're full of fiber and they're good for you. So you can never eat too many green veggies, especially green veggies. So I'm moving it to the side. It's gonna still cook. This is a wok. I have it on high right now. I'm gonna add a little more oil. Not too much, just a little more. And I'm going to go ahead and add my steak. So my steak has been marinating in the Worcestershire sauce with some garlic powder and a little accent. You can use a little table salt. I didn't go too crazy with it because the sauce itself is going to bring that flavor. And to be honest, guys, to be completely honest, this steak will be enough for two people. We just like to go above and beyond when we're eating. So one protein, no, give me two. So we're gonna go ahead and get that to cooking. It kind of reminds me of hibachi. They do their vegetables first. You got your egg and stuff, but it's in a wok. Let that continue to cook. And the thing about this is so thinly sliced, it won't take long for the steak to cook. And beef is like one of the only type of meat you can get away with it being a little underdone. Like, I know people who eat theirs bloody. Not your girl, but a little pink in it, it's okay. Stop sending your steak back talking about it's not cooked, and then they come back and it's tough as nails. Okay. Got our steak in there cooking up. And this is why we're adding the vegetables first, so they can really get a little softer. And now I'm going to go ahead and add our shrimp. And we're almost done with this part of our dish. So like I said, we're extra. So we don't just do anything halfway. We got two proteins, shrimp inside our dish, and then don't worry, we want shrimp on the side. So we're going to do that after we finish with the drunken noodles. So I say 2 servings for adults who are really like trying to get their fill in. But if it's you and your 2 kids or you and your 3 kids, you could probably get away with 4 smaller servings. And like, I know some people kids are really picky, like all they eat is macaroni and chicken tenders, but not my niece. So she will eat this So you better order her own order of Drunken Noodles. If not, she's gonna be eating off your plate. Like that girl been eating seafood and ribs and steaks since she got here. I mean, 2 years old. Like, yeah, she wants the steak. Okay, so I'm just moving the shrimp to be under so they can go ahead and cook. And honestly, guys, right here, get you some sauce and you can eat it as is. Serve over a bed of rice. It won't. I mean, it's just so many things you can do. So don't limit yourself, especially if you cannot find the rice noodles. Everybody does not have an Asian market in their neighborhood. So if you can't find the rice noodles, Walmart typically carry the rice noodles, the dry kind at least. If you can't find that, make everything else and make you some rice. We are not going to get caught up on what we cannot find. We're going to make it do what it do. Okay, so you want to cook your protein, especially your shrimp, until it starts to turn pink. That's how you know, because I have the raw shrimp. If you're using the pre-cooked shrimp that's already pink, that cook time is non-existent. You would throw that in towards the end, right before you put your noodles in, because it's already cooked. You're just warming that up. Funny story, and I probably shouldn't tell you this. I used to think people were eating raw shrimp when they were eating the shrimp cold because I did not know that that was the pre-cooked shrimp. So when people are like, oh, we're on shrimp cocktail, I'm like, why are they eating raw shrimp? But it wasn't raw, it was just cold. Which I don't like my shrimp cold, so. Okay. And I think we're going to go ahead and get a carrot out. Okay. I'm not sure you can hear that. It has a crunch, but it's not super hard. So it's a soft crunch. If you prefer softer than a crunch and a chew, I would say cook your vegetables longer before you add your protein, or pre-steam them before you add them. I'm gonna eat that. I never used to like carrots, but after I made that dish, I'm like, okay, carrots are my new best friend. And I'm really trying to eat more green veggies, so I'm really excited about eating this broccolini. Okay, we have this. We're going to add our rice noodles. Guys, make sure if you're buying the fresh ones, which I recommend because all of the recipes I saw and all of the people on YouTube I saw said use the fresh ones. Those are the ones that you'll find in the cooler section. But once again, if you don't have access to it, they have the dry ones. I know for sure Walmart, because I walked right past them. I said, no, I'm going to get the fresh ones. So I walked right past those. All right, our protein is cooked. We got a little juice at the bottom, which is cool because it's going to help us spread our sauce around. We're going to go ahead and add our rice noodles. And we're going to throw in our 3 to 4 leaves of the Thai basil and our chopped green onions in our sauce. And we are adding something special to this dish. We're doing some thinly sliced jalapeno peppers just for that extra oomph. So you're going to get that sweet, salty, tangy kick of heat with this dish. And guys, if you ever see anything like on TV, because I'm a big Food Network person, and you just want to make it, just make it. Like, you can find the recipe online. We are in the digital age. Or you can just eyeball it. Think about what you think should go in it. So the rice noodles are already cooked. You're just really just tossing them in so they can get married with the other ingredients. And guys, I'm not going to do that whole flick of the wrist. This thing is kind of big and my wrist is not that strong. I brought me some wrist weights, but I think they're just for my arm. So we're gonna stir that around. And I'm gonna go ahead and add, so you could tell the basil look different because it has kind of like a ridge edges, and it looks more rustic. Is that the word I'm looking for the plant? And this is 2 bunches of chopped green onions. I didn't chop them thinly. I did like the chunks. Toss this around. To be honest, this is probably a good 4 servings right here. And you see, we didn't add any extra season because all the season is coming from the sauce. Our protein has been marinating. But if you're the type of person that really likes sauciness of a dish, double the recipe. Just double it. And this was 1 pack, give or take some I messed up. And the pack of rice noodles, oops, just lost some egg. Pack of rice noodles ran about $2.39. The steak was left over, so I'm not counting that. The shrimp, of course, was the $5 bag from Walmart. The broccolini was more than the rice noodles, so you can always substitute the vegetables in the dish. And guys, this is done. This is done. This is a good way to trick your kids into eating more vegetables. Oh, it's not done. We have to add some jalapeno pepper. Now, this is optional. This was requested by Chambry. They're supposed to be thinly sliced. I didn't slice them as thin, but we're gonna throw them in here for that wow factor, that kick. And if you're not a heat seeker, then don't do it. Just don't do it. So we are going to rotate, and when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to make the firecracker shrimp, and then we're gonna plate and eat. So I can see you guys in a quick 5-minute break.
Hi, beauties and babes. It's Lonnie Noel.
Beauty Tutorials Unveiled.
We'll be talking about how to master the soft glam.
For the looks that are easier said than done. Watch live and you could be invited on the show to get live feedback on where you go wrong.
If you're anything like me, it is a struggle.
Don't miss Beauty Tutorials Unveiled. Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
What got me is like there and was like, "There's a rat in here. It's you." The acting, but you know what? I know people like that in real life.
What's the word with Kay Hicks?
We've got trivia, special guests, and whiskey.
Pour a glass of whatever you're drinking and buckle up.
What's the word?
What's the word with Kay Hicks? Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
It's a strong indication that your partner has issues with commitment, period.
When you've got questions, she's got the answers.
We do have a caller.
But what she says might not be what you want to hear.
The solution to that is Gullah Jack. Gullah Jack tells you plain and simply to just nut the up.
Courtney Unfiltered. Watch live on YouTube and you could be invited on the show. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hi. Can I get the now bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hi, can I get a now bar, please?
$1.
Thanks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going? Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground out here, fire rank, get down! Over your head! Now!
Lyrical Pursuit. Teams will compete, but there can be only one winner. And the game that tests music lovers on how well they know the exact lyrics to some of the most popular songs. Watch live and you can be invited to play around live on Channel 7. Lyrical Pursuit. Mondays at 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hey, I'm BC Paul, and this is Can You Sing?
We know you think you can sing, but can you sing?
How long have you been thinking you can sing?
Get voted in to compete for prize money. Can you sing? Watch live on YouTube. Mondays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we have our Drunken Noodles already finished, and we're getting ready to prepare our Firecracker shrimp. So the shrimp has been marinating in garlic, Worcestershire sauce, a little Old Bay, garlic powder, and yeah, that's it. So I'm going to show you if I can find a small knife. Okay. How to, and these are the colossal shrimp, and they run about $8 a bag. They come frozen, shelled, and deveined at Walmart. Because we are very low prep people. If we can do no prep, it's better. So these are the ones I already put together, assembled. And so I'm going to just move them to the side. And so this is spring roll wrappers. So not the wonton wrappers, not the egg roll wrapper, spring roll wrappers. And I kind of butcher it when I cut it. I'm going to cut it better. They come in small and they come in this really wide size. But for these Firecracker shrimp, you need a smaller paper. So I'm just trimming mine down so I can roll better. If you buy the bigger one, which is up to you and what you're able to find, you can always cut it in a triangle or diagonal shape and then cut it again. So you should have one square cut into 2 triangles, cut into 4 triangles. And so we have our little triangle. And I have my oil. It's been getting hot, so make sure your oil is good and hot. And I'm just using vegetable oil. So I have my wrappers and I have my shrimp. So the shrimp, they come like this. They look like a little J. you're going to, from the inside, make 3 to 4 little slits. Do not cut all the way through. We're doing a slit, like a little cut, because we want it to lay straight and flat. So 1, 2, 3. I think I'll do 4. 4. See? It's flatter. So we're gonna take that shrimp. And guys, it's okay. This paper is, even though it's thin, it's very durable. I believe this is kind of like the same paper they use for those for their spring rolls, of course, but also for if you ever had any Indian dish and you had the samosas, it kind of reminds me of that. They use some type of pastry. And I'm just going to, I don't want to get too wet. So this was Worcestershire sauce, garlic, Old Bay, and garlic powder. But you can season it as you like. So I'm just gonna lay it right there. Put some green onions. So this is the bottom of the green onions that we use for our drunken noodles. So we're gonna use everything. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Try to get as tight as you can. We're gonna tuck, and we're gonna roll them on out. Roll, roll, roll your shrimp nicely into a nice little neat ball. And this is the flour water paste. And that is not the best. So let's do another one. Okay, you just want that to close. I'm gonna turn that down. Let's go ahead and start dropping some of these. Oh, it's not hot enough. You see, it didn't sizzle. Let's turn that back up. So we have another shrimp. And they marinated for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can do more or less. It's no need to marinate overnight. 3 to 5 minutes will suffice for shrimp. That's cooking. Let me keep that turned up. So, a rule for frying anything, always make sure your grease is hot. Especially if you're frying a protein like chicken or fish, like your grease has to be hot enough but not too hot in which it burns. So it's a very technical thing. I just don't want it to get wet. Let me just move it right here. And so we're gonna put our shrimp in. I'm gonna try it that way. Our green onions, and guys, you can add other things to it. I want it to be extra and do like my sister makes this really good stuffed fried shrimp where she stuffed with this Cajun crab dip that she make. But I'm like, I'm not gonna do all that. We already have 2 dishes going, so let's leave that crab dip for another day. And once again, if you want to see that recipe, you have to let me know. Remember, a closed mouth does not get fed. But no, this would be a great dish to bring or have as a side, appetizer. I'm not sure if people are still doing potlucks. Don't do potlucks at work. But if you got some friends and family you trust, you can do them at home. And so the grease is hot. Let's go ahead and add the rest of our shrimp. And you're going to fry them for 7 to 10 minutes until they're golden. We're going to turn them halfway through. Do not toss them in there. Try to be better at it than me. And guys, if you don't have access to colossal shrimp or bigger shrimp, just get the biggest shrimp you can find and wrap it up. If your shrimp is smaller, make sure you cut your paper. I felt like this was still a good size for the paper. For the size of shrimp I had, it was a good size paper. So we're going to go ahead and do that last one. I'm going to go ahead and take it out so it can be kind of shake some of that excess marinade off. And it was just a really simple marinade, guys. Worcestershire sauce is the truth. Like for real, for real. It's the truth. I use it on like any and everything. My steaks. If I'm like marinating any type of protein, I'm adding it in when I'm like sauteing spinach. It's up there with garlic to me now. So if you want to make a quick marinade, get you some seasoning, get you some Worcestershire sauce, and throw in some fresh garlic or fresh ginger. Bada bing, bada boom. You in there. Okay. So you don't want it to be like still dripping wet because even though this paper is more durable than the wonton wrappers and the egg roll wrappers, it's still paper. So remember, we're going to cut little slits in the middle of the shrimp so that it can lay flat. I'm going to turn it this way. We're going to add our green onions. And if you don't like green onions, you don't have to add green onions. Make this recipe your own. So if you are looking at this dish, talking about, man, that looks really good, but I can't or just don't want to make it, and you thinking about ordering from your your local Thai restaurant, remember that they're gonna cook it the traditional way, and also they're gonna ask you for your heat level. And I know we as Black people think, oh, we can handle that heat, but Louisiana hot sauce versus like chili peppers and all those spices are two different levels. So make sure you err on the side of caution. Don't try to be a hero. Okay, this came out way better. And this may take some trial and error. Luckily, the spring roll wrapper pack comes with 50 in it. So if it takes you 25 on the first try, you're good because you're not going to get 25 shrimp in your bag. Especially if you're doing the colossal shrimp. So let's go ahead and turn these over. And like you really do want your grease to be hot. And you don't have to worry, the shrimp are cooking on the inside. This wrapper is just that added level of crunch. And you want it to get brown, so I'm just moving them over some. So overall, the shrimp is really easy to prepare. You can always spice it up. You can always change it up. Like I said, I wanted to add the crawfish, not the crawfish, the crab dip, the Cajun crab dip into it. Plans fell through, but you can always do that. And that can become a main side for your table. It can be an appetizer if you're hosting a little kickback. Game night can be elevated. Put these in some little Dollar Tree, those little martini glasses. Put the little sauce in there and put them in there. Change the game. Change it. I feel like we can still do what we enjoy doing, but we can also add some new stuff into it. You ain't always got to just fry your shrimp in the flour. You can pour your shrimp. Or you can make that bang bang shrimp I've been saying. I may make that next. We may do shrimp like 3 ways. But you want it to get golden brown, not too brown. And I believe this is also something you can cook in your air fryer. I will prepare it the same way and probably just spray it with some cooking oil and put it in the air fryer and cook it on 300 for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to let that cook a little more because I want it to get brown. But you can tell that the shrimp is cooking because of the shell is already turning that pink color that it normally turns once the shrimp are cooked. So we're going to let this cook a little longer and then we're going to add the rest of them in there and then we're going to plate this all up. And we're going to eat together. And by us eating together, I'm going to eat and you're going to watch me eat and you're going to enjoy it like I'm enjoying it. Because I already taste the Drunken noodles. And it's really good, guys. Really good. Probably does not taste like the traditional, but it's still really good. And let that fry. And I have don't judge me, a paper plate and a paper towel because we want it to soak off. Also, if you get the little small string rice noodles, you can add some of that like inside. So you can always add more stuff, but the key thing is make sure you have your shrimp. Ooh, these are not coming out as pretty golden brown as I would like, but know what? They still gonna eat. They still gonna taste good. So let me go ahead and take this one out. Cause you want it to be crispy. So I'm gonna let it fry a little longer. And look, and you can tell this one kind of opened up. So make sure you're wrapping them tight enough. So guys, can you believe this is our last episode of the season? We're about to go on our summer hiatus. But that does not mean you guys cannot message me, because most of you guys have my number anyway. And let me know what you're looking for when we come back in September. So when we come back in the fall, let me know what you want to see. I have a really, really, really good butternut squash soup recipe that I cannot wait to get my cardigan and my snow boots back out. Because it's been hot in Texas. And apparently our government in Texas think that it's okay for us to, set our they want us to set our thermostats to 78 or higher. Like, it's hot in Texas. Why? But I'm not sure any other state power is still up like ours, but after that ice storm we had back in February, we realized that something ain't right in Texas. So those of you looking to move out here, be careful. Okay, we're gonna take these out. I think it's been has it been 7 minutes? I really need to get a timer. Now let's let them get a little brown. Sit this over here. And we're gonna go ahead and put the rest of these in. And once again, we're using spring roll papers, spring roll wrappers, not wonton, not egg roll. It's a difference. I think you can get away with it if you want to. Like, if you just don't have access to spring roll wrappers, then you could. But the traditional wrapper for these are the spring roll wrappers. And I'm thinking this probably would have been better in a different type of skillet. I do love my cook set my sister brought me for Christmas. However, it's not really good for like deep frying in this manner. So it's good for sauteing, it's good for cabbage and spinach, but not for like frying up. So we're gonna let those cook. And while those are cooking, we're gonna go ahead and get plated. Yeah, that's good. So we have our drunken noodles. We have sauces, and these are basically pre-made sauces. We have our sweet and sour sauce, our spicy sweet and sour sauce, and our chili sauce. And let me see, can I make this pretty? She's gonna sit. Let me get the pretty ones. Because you gotta have 3. Boom! Drunken noodles at the house. My version of it. And remember, if you are a really saucy person and you like too much sauce, but you really like sauce in your dish, just double that sauce recipe. Bada bing, bada boom. And to be honest, this is 1 serving. I have 2 more good servings in that wok. So this is a 3-serving meal. You throw in the firecracker shrimp, make a whole party out of it. I have really enjoyed making this, guys. I cannot wait to eat it. And I can't wait to see you guys in September. We're going to have a lot more recipes, and we're going to do a lot more interactive activities. I really want you guys to start cooking with me. So we'll start posting the recipe list ahead of time so that you guys can be ready, so you can ask questions, because I'm a teacher by profession and by purpose, and we're going to learn together. See you in September. Bye, guys.